I was born in Cameroon, and I lived there until I was about 10 years old. And every summer holiday, we would be sent away to visit relatives in the provinces. And I remember one holiday, every afternoon we would watch a Bollywood movie. There were no subtitles, there was no translation, they were all in Hindi, they were 3 or 4 hours long, but somehow they captured our imagination. We didn't understand the language, but we understood what was going on. And it was from there that I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to do something that somebody can see me on screen and understand exactly what I'm communicating, even if we don't speak the same language. And I think that's what art does. I think that's what film does. It transcends language. So that was my inspiration from wanting to become an artist, from wanting to become an actress. At the age of 10, I wanted to become a Bollywood princess. I'm very passionate about tolerance, especially about religious tolerance. I think spirituality is something that's very personal, but I think it's also something that's very universal. And I feel as though we as human beings, at the end of the day, we're all looking for connection, right, with each other, with our environment. And however way we can find that connection, I think, is valid. Just because I express my spirituality and my faith in a different way from you doesn't mean that I can't respect where you're coming from, or that the way you practice your faith isn't as valid as mine. Which is why the project I'm working on right now is all about that. I came here, I'm at Cannes for the very first time, and I brought a film that I'm producing with me. And it's called Ben and Ara, and it's the story about a woman who is a practicing member of the Nation of Islam who falls in love with a man who has no belief in spirituality or religion, has no interest in it. And it's about their relationship and how they overcome their cultural differences and their differences in philosophies to really, at the end of the day, find themselves as two human beings who share a heart and who, in spite of everything that occurs in their environment and the negative feedback that they get from people around them, manage to connect. I'm working on a documentary about my grandmother. So last year I went to Cameroon. My grandmother, we were throwing a celebration to celebrate her life. We have never done a party for her. She still lives in Cameroon. It'd been many years since I'd visited Cameroon, and most of my family is in the United States. So my mom had this idea to take a trip to Cameroon with the whole family. We all got on the plane. My grandmother has grandchildren she has never met. So I decided, I don't know very much about my grandmother. We have her, we see her, we don't ask her questions. And I'm curious. I want to know what her life was like. So I took a camera and I started asking people questions. I started asking my grandmother questions. Where did you grow up? What kind of things did you do when you were a young girl? How was it being a single mother in the 50s? Those kind of things, because as an artist and as a filmmaker, this is all wonderful material. So I filmed that, and that is in post-production right now, and I'm hoping for that to be the next thing I bring to Cannes, because it's very representative of my Cameroonian heritage, and I know my family will be very excited to see it, and I'm sure, it'll resonate with many people who are from somewhere and are living in the diaspora. It would appeal to that audience as well. Did I notice something in her eyes? Not so much. She's one of those people who is very matter of fact. So she'll tell you, you'll ask a question and she'll answer like it's nothing. Doesn't mean anything. There's nothing extraordinary about it. And yet I find it extraordinary and special. And I think the people whose eyes lit up were her children. My mother and her brother and her sisters. They were all their eyes were lighting up as they were sharing memories from their childhood and their experience of growing up with my grandmother. Yeah. But for her, it was just normal. This is life, and I'm telling you how it is. I do think the key to harmony is dialogue. It starts from dialogue. It starts from looking at another person and really finding out what they're about, because that is what it means to be a citizen of the world, and not living in fear because of ignorance. And I think a lot of the fear that we have of the other is something that we can absolutely dispel by speaking to the person, or just saying hello, or just smiling. I mean, it's amazing what can be accomplished through a simple gesture that really breaks down the walls and reveals, I'm human just like you, and I have vulnerabilities just like you, and why can't we connect on that level? Being confident that you are enough, that what you have is enough, that you have something to contribute to the world, no matter how small you think it is. Even a smile is something. Just being confident in that I have enough, and I am worth something, and I have something to contribute to the world, even if it's a smile. I think that would be my message. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here with us.
My pleasure.